Hi, I'm Nancy Drew. Since you can tell a lot about a person by where he or she lives, I thought I'd introduce myself by showing you my room. As you can see, I keep it pretty neat. Of course, I can't fish. The tackle's ruined. It is really, really cold out here. Ah, much better. I was really cold. Somebody left me a note.
Reached Run and Grow Free, a non-profit organization dedicated to making sure that the wild animals of North America remain wild. No one can take your call at the moment because all of our volunteer staff is busy blocking access to California's wilderness areas in order to protect their cougar, bear, and condor populations. But if you leave your name and number after the beep, someone will eventually get back to you. Especially if you want to make a donation.
What you need?
Someone went into the ice fishing shack and ruined all of Bill Kessler's equipment.
Probably some animal-loving eco-fanatic who figured it was time to save the fish.
You don't by any chance have a hook and line I could borrow, do you?
Say no more. There's my tackle box. It's all yours. Kessler tried to rope me into competing with him, but I can't very well do that when you've got my hook and line now, can I?
No, I don't suppose you can.
What else do you want?
I'll let you get back to work.
If you need anything, just holler.
Long as it's not time to cook, I might as well stay out of the kitchen. Order up. Order up. Order up. Order up.
Halt! The battle for the kingdom of the Snow Princess begins! You win! Heads up! Whenever you're really cold, just squeeze the toasty pack and you'll get a burst of heat. It only works when you're already cold, and you can only use one toasty pack at a time.
It is really, really cold out here. I snagged a sturgeon. Huh, there goes my line. Two feet, but not a northern pike. There we go, a 2-foot northern pike. No more fishing for me. Whoever threw that ice ball at me must have set off an explosion that shattered the ice. And my jacket's gone. No wonder I'm so cold. A coat. I need to make it to shore by jumping from ice floe to ice floe and put on that coat before I freeze to death. I don't know whose this is or why that wolf left it here, but at least now I won't freeze to death. Ah, warm again. There's a note in one of the pockets. Since I can't go back the way I came, maybe these tracks will lead me to shelter. Avalanche Ridge. Ugh, not exactly reassuring. The snow's so deep, I'm sinking up to my knees. If I want to follow those tracks, I'm gonna need some snowshoes. Ski tracks, probably Yanni's. I bet if I follow them, I'll wind up back at the lodge. I can't stop shivering. I need to get in and out of the cold, like, soon. I feel warmer already.
Nancy, hi! What the heck happened out there?
Actually, I'm not quite sure.
I walked out to Icicle Lake to see how you were doing in the fishing shack, only there wasn't any fishing shack. There wasn't even a lake. The ice was all busted up like somebody dropped a bomb on it.
All I know is after I caught that 2-foot northern pike, I walked outside and someone knocked me unconscious with an ice ball. The next thing I knew, there was an explosion and I was on an ice floe in the middle of the lake with no coat and no fish.
Somebody decked you with an ice ball, then blew up the lake? Holy moly! The good news is you're okay. The bad news? No more ice fishing.
Since Mr. Talbot isn't here, could I play a game of fox and geese with you?
You bet. Have a seat. Here are the rules. The white pieces are the geese. The black piece is the fox. The goal of the geese is to corner the fox so he can't move, while the goal of the fox is to gobble up geese so that they can't corner him. The geese can only move forward along a line to the next point, either directly forwards, diagonally, or sideways. Same thing for the fox, except when he's next to a goose that has an empty spot directly behind it. He can jump over it.
Gobble it up.
Right. Gobble it up and remove it from the board. You just take turns and play until somebody wins and somebody loses. I'll be the fox. Ready?
You bet.
I lose.
Well, who are you?
My name's Nancy Drew.
Perhaps what I should have asked Nancy is, what are you? You're obviously much too young to be a paying guest.
I'm the new maid.
Oh, the new maid, thank goodness! I was wondering how much longer the owner expected us to endure these conditions and still pay full price.
How long has Elsa been gone?
2 days, I think. Maybe even 3. I don't know. It's all a blur of dirt and dust and soap residue. My name is Guadalupe Comillo. My friends call me Lupe. 2 things, dear. First, the alarm clock is missing from my room. I don't necessarily need another one. I just don't want to be charged for that one, seeing as I have no idea where it went to. Second, be a doll and clean my room first. It'll hardly take you any time at all, especially compared to the other rooms. The other guests are all men. Single men.
Well, I'm happy to report that I've already cleaned your room.
Excellent.
I hate to sound nosy, but what are you doing?
Birds. I'm watching birds. That's what I am, you see, a bird watcher. Sometimes I go outside and watch, and sometimes I stay inside. It all depends on what the birds feel like doing and what I feel like doing.
What kind of birds do you see here?
In the short time I've been here, I've seen hawks, eagles, orioles, cardinals, jays, nothing truly rare. But to a wildlife lover such as myself, seeing them in such a spectacular setting is thrilling nonetheless.
Have you ever seen the wolf that's been hanging out around here?
No. Not that I'm looking for it, of course. Yanni occasionally skis by, and that dullard of a student, I see him snowshoeing occasionally. But I've yet to see the wolf. Have you seen it?
Yeah, up close and personal, as a matter of fact.
How did it act? Was it aggressive? Did it look injured?
I found a bunch of wolf tracks beyond the pond. You could follow them and see it for yourself.
Maybe I will. Have you told anyone else what you just told me?
No?
Good. Don't. You see, I'd like to see this wolf for myself, and I don't want everyone else going after it and scaring it away. And there's no telling what that trigger-happy handyman might do. So it'll just be our little secret, all right?
Have you met the other guests?
I've bumped into them at one time or another, yes. I don't spend all my time in front of this window. That Yanni fellow, he's very talented, but extremely intense. His whole life revolves around being the best in the world. As for the 2 who are always sitting across the way playing that silly game, the older man, Bill Kessler, he's no deep thinker, but he's nice enough. But the other one, that college student, talking to him is like trying to converse with a giant turnip. No social graces whatsoever. I almost prefer talking to the handyman. Almost. Anyone that intent on destroying something as glorious as that wolf is hardly worth talking to.
Do you own a book about birds of the Southwest?
I might. Why do you ask?
Because I found a piece of a book cover in the fishing shack, and since it was about birds, I wondered if it was yours.
No, it's not from any book I have. I've never been in the ice fishing shack, so how could it be?
Good luck with your birding.
Ta-ta!
Is this yours?
What, that bullet? Don't be silly. Why would I be carrying ammunition around?
It kind of looked like it dropped out of your pocket.
Well, since it was never in my pocket, that's impossible now, isn't it? It was probably lying there on the floor all along, and you just happened to kick it into view, that's all. This did used to be a hunting lodge, dear. I wouldn't worry about it.
You used that bullet I found on the floor to alter the sights on Ollie Randall's rifle, didn't you?
What? That's so ridiculous. It's laughable.
You did it because you're a member of Run and Grow Free, and you're trying to protect the wolf at any cost, aren't you?
Look at me. Do I really look like some kind of wildlife fanatic?
I never judge books by their covers, Miss Camillo. Look, I don't want to see anything happen to that wolf either. If you belong to Run and Grow Free, just tell me. I'm good at keeping secrets, believe me.
You're right. I am a member of Run and Grow Free. I did make sure that brute would miss if he took a shot at the wolf, and I will do whatever it takes to protect that beautiful creature.
Does doing whatever it takes include shutting down Icicle Creek Lodge?
No.
What else have you done to protect the wolf?
That's all I'm going to tell you, Nancy. And if you really are concerned about the wolf's welfare, you won't repeat any of this to anyone.
Hi, Nance.
Hey, Ned.
Everything all right?
Are you familiar with a book by Jack London called The Call of the Wild?
Sure, it's about a dog who winds up leading a pack of wolves. It's a classic. Why do you ask?
Because I found a copy of it in Lou's room.
Interesting. Maybe he's got something to do with the wolf that's been lurking around outside the lodge.
I was thinking the same thing. He does spend a lot of time outside by himself. He says he's snowshoeing, but maybe he's up to something else. Something that ties in with the wolf somehow.
Or maybe the fact that he's reading that book is all just a big coincidence.
Yeah, that could be too.
As I recall, it was a pretty good book.
Someone dressed in a black snowmobiling suit decked me with an ice ball. And when I came to, the lake had been blown to pieces and I was stranded on an ice floe.
Are you okay?
I am now. But remember that piece of black fabric I saw sticking out of Trapper Dan's needle?
You think it came from the clothes the guy who threw the ice ball was wearing?
It's a definite possibility. And if that person also blew up the lake, he or she could be the same person who blew up the bunkhouse.
Which means if you come across someone who owns a black snowmobiling suit that's missing a piece of fabric, you probably found your culprit.
Gotta go. I'll call you again.
I miss you, you know.
I miss you too. Bye, Ned.
What you need?
I'd better get back upstairs.
Keep me posted.
How can I help you?
I really need to get somewhere in the backcountry and was thinking you could maybe give me a cross-country ski lesson or two?
Out of the question. I don't have the time, the equipment, or, frankly, the desire. I am sorry.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Come back anytime.
pohaku. Wiki tiki pohaku. Wai pohaku. Do 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 do. La la la. Aloha.
What do you want?
You messed with my rifle, didn't you?
This I gotta hear.
Excuse me?
This fax just came for you. It's from the wacko left-wing wildlife gang that paid you to screw up my rifle so I'd miss that wolf.
How dare you talk to me like that? I'm leaving this place right now.
Good. You just got yourself an escort off the premises. What you need?
I couldn't help but overhear the argument you and Ms. Camillo had.
She messed up my rifle so I couldn't shoot that wolf, so I tossed her out. Told her to take her little crusade somewhere else.
Have you told Chantal that you threw her out?
No, not yet. She's not gonna be happy. But by golly, that woman was a menace. Anybody who deliberately sabotaged a man's rifle is capable of anything. But at least now I know why I missed that wolf. And like I told her as I was giving her the bum's rush, next time, I won't miss.
That's all the questions I had.
Keep me posted.
This is Lupe. Leave a message and perhaps we'll talk later.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew. I'll call you later. Call 1555 Mystico and prepare to be made.
What's up?
Would it be all right if I borrowed your snowshoes?
No.
I wouldn't need them for long, just for an hour or so.
Well, in that case, no.
What's the matter with you? Afraid of cooties? Let her use your snowshoes.
I've only got one pair, and they're like precious, you know? Sorry, dude, the answer's no. What can I say?
Well, I'll let you go.
Rock and roll.
Hello again.
I'll see you two later, okay?
See you later.
Hello?
Hi, Chantal. It's Nancy again.
What's up?
Nothing else to report.
I have to get going too. Bye.
Sheriff's office, this is Mohican.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew at the Icicle Creek Lodge. We met the other night when you were investigating the bunkhouse explosion.
Oh, yeah, that bright kid from the States. What do you need?
Well, I found a melted clock face close to where the bunkhouse used to be, and I wondered if it could have been what triggered the explosion. You know, the timer.
I found that clock face, too. Left it there because any fingerprints on it would have melted away along with everything else. And besides, Ollie Randall said all the room clocks at the lodge looked like that. Could have been one that was in the bunkhouse to begin with.
Oh, right.
You shouldn't go poking around on your own like that. There could still be explosives lying around. Although, I hear it takes a pretty big bang to set off C4.
C4?
A plastic explosive? That's what blew up the bunkhouse. Lab result came in less than an hour ago.
Is C4 hard to get?
Not if you're in the military or do any kind of demolition. In Eastern Europe, it's called Semtex. It's not that hard to handle either. For somebody who's had training in explosives, it's a piece of cake.
Did you learn anything else from the lab tests you did after the bunkhouse explosion?
Nope. Unfortunately, that bunkhouse wasn't particularly well made, so when it exploded, pretty much everything got melted into a blob or blown to smithereens or burned to a crisp.
One of the guests at the hotel, Yanni Volkstaya, he says someone threw a bomb at him while he was out skiing.
Well, did he see who it was?
He didn't see anything except the explosion, which apparently went off right next to him.
Was he hurt?
No,
Why are you telling me this instead of him?
because he's a cross-country skiing champion and he's convinced it was one of his competitors. Apparently the governments of the people he's beaten are as ruthless as they are sore losers.
So what do you want me to do?
I don't know. Investigate?
Well, if this Yanni guy wasn't concerned enough to call us, I don't see what good we can do. Life's too short, we're too understaffed, and it's just too darn cold to go traipsing around out there for nothing.
Do you need some kind of permit to hunt wolves around here?
No, ma'am.
You mean Ollie Randall can go after that white wolf that's been hanging around outside the lodge and just shoot it?
Yes, ma'am. It's always open season on wolves out here. You can kill as many of them as you want.
Somehow that doesn't seem right.
Well, the animals wolves go after don't have a problem with it, I can guarantee you that.
I'll let you get back to work.
Goodbye.
have reached Pinevale Hospital. All our doctors and nurses are busy right now. Please try again later. Thank you.
Halt! By order of the Snow Princess, you shall not pass! You win! Here you go!
I don't need to go to Icicle Lake. Now that the fishing shack's gone, there's nothing to do there. If I don't get warm soon, I may not make it. Ah, warm again.
Hello?
Hi, it's Nancy Drew.
I'm glad you called. Ollie tells me Guadalupe Camillo checked out.
Actually, it was more like Ollie threw her out.
Well, good riddance, right? I mean, he said she was an environmental nut job. In fact, he said he wouldn't be surprised if she's the one who caused those accidents and blew up the bunkhouse.
I don't think so.
You don't? I was hoping I could tell my lawyers that the case is closed and come home.
I still have to come up with proof.
Oh, that. Well, the lodge is probably better off without her in any case. Although she did pay for her stay in advance, and in cash. Cash is good. Oh well. Anything else to report?
I think I'm onto something, but I desperately need snowshoes. Could you give me the combination to the lock on the display case so I could use the ones in there?
I certainly can, but I'm not going to until you do something for me.
Like what?
I'm going to fax you a survey that Tino came up with. He says you're to fill most of it out by observing the people staying at the lodge, rather than just asking them the questions outright. He says that would put them on their guard. When it's all filled out, fax it to Tino. The results will help him come up with a profile that will help you to determine which of our guests is responsible for the accidents.
I really don't think that's necessary.
Well, Tino does, so I'm faxing it to you even as we speak. In fact, it's done. So why don't you go get it right now? I'll wait.
Great. I just hope the questions aren't too dumb. Got it.
Good. Now remember, when you're done filling it out, fax it directly to Tino. And he wants you to call him before you do so he can turn his machine on.
That's it for now.
Answers, Nancy. I need answers.
How can I help you?
Would you mind telling me what planet you most identify with?
Pluto.
Actually, Pluto's not a planet anymore.
That is exactly the point. Pluto stirs up passion and controversy, yet it continues undaunted on its course, as do I. Pluto and I, we are as brothers.
You're busy, so I'll let you go.
We'll talk again, I'm sure.
What's up?
I was just wondering, what planet do you most identify with?
Planet X.
I'm sorry, I meant in our solar system.
Planet X?
But there is no Planet X.
There will be.
So you identify with Planet X.
Planet X. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I'll let you go.
Been real.
Hello again.
I know this is going to sound like a strange question, but what planet do you most identify with?
I guess it would be Mars. You know, that whole god of war thing?
I should have known. I'll see you two later, okay?
See you later.
Order up.
This ain't right. Why, this looks downright wrong.
Order up.
Something don't look right. Do this one again.
Order up. Order up.
Oh, and by the way, don't go adding paprika to Lou Talbot's food anymore. He hates paprika.
Hello?
Miss Camillo, hi, it's Nancy Drew from Icicle Creek Lodge.
Yes, of course. Is the wolf all right?
Well, Ollie hasn't succeeded in shooting or trapping it yet, if that's what you mean.
If only I was there to protect it. Our organization is trying desperately to arrange to have the wolf captured and transported to a sanctuary. But so far, all the ones we've contacted are full. And unless and until we find a place for it, our hands are tied. Tell me more about the contact you've had with the wolf.
After I was buried by an avalanche, it dug a hole in the snow so I could escape.
It may have sensed you were in trouble, or its behavior may have been totally random. But either way, the fact that the wolf didn't simply run away from you is very bad news.
It is?
Wolves and humans simply do not mix. While wolves may appear to be similar to dogs, behaviors that have been bred out of dogs after thousands of years of domestication are still instinctive to wolves. Training a wolf to behave like a dog may mask those instincts, but it cannot eradicate them. For that reason, no matter how sociable the wolf may appear, instinct can at any moment rear its ugly head with devastating results for any humans involved and for the wolf. Especially for the wolf, who will have simply been doing what comes naturally.
So the fact that this wolf doesn't seem to be that afraid of people could lead people to think they don't have to be afraid of it.
Precisely. It could make them forget that all wolves are, first and foremost, wild. And while we're on the subject, do not ever, ever give in to the temptation to feed the wolf. For one thing, a wolf's jaws are twice as powerful as a German shepherd's, and should your hand happen to get in its way when it tries to feed?
I get the picture.
For another thing, making the wolf dependent upon you for food would seal its doom. It sounds strange, Nancy, but the very best thing you can do for that wolf is nothing.
Are you the one who wrecked all the gear that was in the fishing shack?
Yes, that was me. I was afraid that Bill Kessler fellow would encounter the wolf on one of his trips out to the shack, and that it would end badly for the wolf. So I did a number on his equipment. I've done worse while working on behalf of Run and Grow Free. Believe me.
So, are you kind of an expert on wolves?
Oh, good heavens, no. Although I probably know more about them than most people do, which unfortunately isn't saying much.
Things like what?
Well, I know that a wolf that lives by itself, like the one up there at the lodge, a lone wolf, if you will, a wolf like that is called a disperser. And I know that 95% of the wolf's natural habitat down here in the lower 48 states has disappeared. And I know some people, a lot of people, couldn't care less. But it seems to me that wolves have just as much right to go about their business in this country as we humans do. After all, they were here first.
Why can't the group you belong to just capture the wolf, take it out to the middle of nowhere, and let it go?
Because unfortunately, there's really no such place as nowhere anymore. We humans are, or can be, everywhere. Plus, wolves can travel great distances. Contact with humans would be inevitable. And since this wolf has obviously lost its fear of humans, it would be an easy target for anyone prone to shoot first and ask questions later. No, a sanctuary is the only place where it would be truly safe.
What's a sanctuary?
It's a facility where wolves can live out their lives in as natural a setting as possible in the company of other wolves.
You mean like a zoo?
No, sanctuaries are usually not open to the general public. And while educating visitors about wolves is certainly one of their goals, their primary concern is preserving the animals they take in. Unfortunately, the more humans encroach on wolves' natural habitat, the more crowded the sanctuaries become.
Aren't there any government agencies that can take care of the wolf?
For the most part, and especially up there, wolves are considered to be pests.
If a government agency got involved, it would take care of the wolf all right. Permanently.
Why didn't you just come out and tell the people at Icicle Creek Lodge that you were there to protect the wolf?
Because I assumed, and quite correctly as it turns out, that very few people there would be sympathetic to my cause. Had I not been undercover, they may have tried to foil my efforts. Instead, I was able to foil theirs. For a while, at least.
It gets so cold here at night. Will the wolf be okay?
Not only are wolves built to withstand cold temperatures, but they know instinctively what to do to survive in extreme conditions. If they didn't, they would have disappeared from the earth eons ago.
Did you ever hear any explosions while you were staying at Icicle Creek Lodge?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I heard several.
Do you have any idea what caused them?
My first thought was that Ollie had completely lost it and was going after the wolf with explosives. But when I realized that even he wasn't that stupid, I assumed it was someone clearing an avalanche or a downed tree or something. While we're on the subject of explosions, did anyone ever figure out what made the bunkhouse blow up like that?
The sheriff says it was plastic explosives.
Wow, that's serious. No offense, but it sounds to me like instead of hiring a new maid, the owner of the lodge should have hired herself a detective.
Yeah. When you were here at the lodge, how come you had a magazine that featured Yanni Volkstaya in your room?
You're very observant. I read the article thinking he might make a good spokesperson for Run and Grow Free. But then I actually talked to him. At which point I realized that not only is he a raving egomaniac, but he's appallingly superstitious when it comes to wolves. I put an abrupt end to that conversation. I was afraid he might try to tell me that wolves had eaten his grandmother or something.
You know, actually... never mind. This is going to sound like a really weird question, but from what side of the bed do you usually get up?
Why in the world do you want to know that?
Oh, please don't try to make me explain.
Well, it's a harmless question, I suppose. Let's see. I get up on my left side.
If I were to ask you which planet you most identify with, which one would you say?
Earth. No, wait. Make that Venus. No, Earth. No, actually Venus. No, Earth. No offense, dear, but that's a very silly question.
Tell me about it. I need to get back to work.
Thanks for calling. Oh, and from now on, call me Lupe. I think you've earned that right.
Who dares disturb the concentration of Mystico the Magnificent?
I'm sorry. This is Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew, I see your future clear as tape. I see a white wolf and a dark figure named Bruno.
Bruno?
But beware, Nancy Drew, the wolf will only lead to danger and intrigue.
Cool. I mean, yes, Mystico.
The Magnificent.
Huh?
You're supposed to say Mystico the Magnificent.
Oh, right. Yes, Mystico the Magnificent.
So, Nancy Drew, what secrets from the beyond do you seek?
Something very special.
A wise choice. Return to the icy depths, and there you will discover the jewel of the deep blue sea. Mystico has spoken.
Order up. Order up. Order up. Order up. Whales rule! Order up. Order up. Order up. Order up.
Nancy, hi. You finished with that survey yet?
I sure am.
Good girl. I'll just turn on my fax machine here. Okay, let her rip. Nice work, Nancy. According to the survey, our perp is none other than our bird-watching champion snowshoer, Bill Kessler.
But Bill Kessler likes to ice fish. Guadalupe Comillo is the one who likes to birdwatch. Yanni Volkstaya is a champion skier. And Lou Talbot likes to snowshoe.
Oh.
How did you come up with that survey anyway?
I put it together using this profiling kit I saw advertised on the Detective Channel. It was supposed to be foolproof. You know, maybe I just need to look at the survey data from a different perspective or something. Yeah, maybe the answer's there after all, and I just gotta shuffle things around in order to see it. Oh, hey, before I forget, Chantel said when you finished the survey, I was supposed to pass some numbers on to you. Said it was the combination of something?
Yes, to the display case. What is it?
7669. Anything else I can do for you?
That does it for now.
Don't be a stranger.
That did it. It is possible sauropod scapula. Take to lab for precise ID. If I don't get warm soon, I may not make it. I'm getting... Looks like some kind of house. Could someone be living there? Hello? Is anyone here? Doesn't sound like it. Mississippi. These toasty packs. Possible sauropod scapula. Take to lab for precise ID. Looks like some kind of house. Could someone be living there? Hello? Is anyone here? Doesn't sound like it. It's going to get dark soon and cold. I'm going in. I feel warmer already. Who's this from? Meet me in the sauna in the basement. I have some interesting information for you. A sauna sounds good to me.
What's up?
I'll catch you later.
Been real.
Hello again.
I'd better get going.
Okie dokie.
Hello? Anybody here? These weren't here before. That birthmark below his eye looks very familiar. Hey! Is someone out there? The door's... Whew, I'm getting really, really hot. Hot. I'm running out of time. I've got to do something fast. I've got to get these pipes aligned before I pass out from the heat. There. I may still be locked in, but at least I won't feel like a rotisserie chicken anymore.
Nancy!
Mr. Kessler? What are you doing down here?
I came down here looking for Ollie, but then I heard all this noise and thought I'd better check it out. Door got stuck again, huh? Say, you look kinda bedraggled. Are you all right?
I'm fine, and I'll be even better after you and I have a little talk.
Yeah, that's me. When I was a kid, this place was practically my second home. My late grandmother, Tilly Wentworth, used to own it.
Was she the reason you wrote that letter I found crumpled up in your room?
About 2 years ago, just before she died, my grandmother sold this place to Albert Moeequay without telling anyone in her family. From what I've heard about Moeequay, I'm pretty sure he bullied her into selling. I think he cheated her, and he cheated us, and that it's high time somebody...
Taught him a lesson by, say, putting Icicle Creek Lodge out of business?
I had nothing to do with that explosion, Lou's window, the food poisoning, the icy stairs, none of that stuff. You ask me, it's karma. The Moeequays are just getting what's coming to them.
Since you used to spend so much time here, do you know if there's a way to get into Trapper Dan's Needle?
You know that pyramid thing on the table over there by the entrance to the dining room? If you fool around with it until nothing but pigs show on the outside, this compartment will open up and inside will be this round magnetic thing that used to be Trapper Dan's special master key. Just hold it up by the needle and a hidden door will pop open.
But I already opened up the pyramid and there was nothing inside.
There wasn't? Oh. Well, I'm afraid you're out of luck.
Could that magnetic key thing be somewhere else?
You know, Grandma Tilly once told me that if you turn the top of the pyramid 45 degrees, then fill all the boxes on the outside with one kind of animal, then another kind of animal, until you do that for all 4 animals, she said if you do that, you'd find a journal in there written by Trapper Dan himself.
Did you ever read it?
I was a kid. What would I want to read some crazy old coot's journal for?
I'd better get going.
Okie dokie.
Order up. Order up. Order up. Order up. Daniel Weissnitz, better known as Trapper Dan, I'll bet. The first thing you need to do is crack my cipher below, or just follow the moose, wolf, raccoon, and Mary. Looks like the rest is in some kind of code. Can't find Mary? Well, try pulling on that rope above the vaults. You'll just have to keep it taut. Mary always helped me with that. Mary must have been referring to his pet pig. Something tells me this radio belongs to Yanni. And if so, why is he hiding it?
Die Frankfurt-Fragen